My name is Kyle and welcome to Frame by Frame, a series dedicated to the craft of filmmaking. Today, we're going to talk about the man, the myth, the Martin Scorsese. Now, if you don't know who that is, well, I suggest you
go home and get your shine box.
But really, Scorsese is among the most prolific filmmakers to ever live. 58 directorial credits since 1959. He's the man who made Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and Goodfellas. The professor who taught Oliver Stone and Spike Lee at NYU. He even started the Film Foundation, the world's leading film preservation initiative. I mean, outside of Kubrick, who the hell else in recent memory has a reputation like him? Think about it. Film snobs love him. People who beat the shit out of film snobs love him. But why? What makes his work so astonishing, so magnetic? Perhaps it's the endearing warmth of Joe Pesci.
I'm what counts out here, not your country clubs or your TV shows.
Or maybe it's the charm of Robert De Niro.
I want to be alone with my wife. Get the up and get out of here.
But seriously, if you look closer, there's a technique at work. Here, for example, Pesci's using a car door instead of his fists. All jokes aside, though, there is a method to Scorsese's madness, one you've seen but likely never noticed, and one responsible for some of the greatest works in cinematic history. And that method is juxtaposition. You see, Marty often directs using two opposing styles, neorealism and postmodernism, an approach that creates a beautiful sense of contrast throughout his work. But hey, I can't convict the guy of something without showing you some evidence first. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present you with Exhibit A, neorealism. Now, Scorsese was influenced by a movement in post-war Italy known as Italian neorealism. These films told the stories of poor, working-class people. They would feature a cast of non-actors who were shot on location to invoke a sense of authenticity. Scripts were used more as a guide, shot design was used to only show the action as plainly as possible. Roberto Rossellini, one of the fathers of neorealism, said, "I try to capture reality, nothing else." Scorsese has even stated that Rossellini's films were a major influence on his own. So let's watch a scene from Scorsese's masterpiece, Raging Bull. See if you can spot the similarities between it and neorealist films.
Take it off.
Ah, come on, you wanna stop now? That's enough of that.
Come on.
Around,
girl, come on.
Girl, huh?
I'm gonna smack you again. Throw it again.
It's enough. That's enough.
Hard.
Nah, your cuts are opening and everything. What are you trying to prove? What does it prove?
Alright, here's what I got. First, the coverage was minimal. No wild shot design or flashy cuts. Second, it's clearly shot on location. That's no soundstage, that's New York City. The characters are also working class people. And there's overlapping dialogue and repeated lines, which are indicators of, you guessed it, improvisation. In fact, much of the dialogue in this movie was improvised, which isn't unique for Scorsese. In fact, Goodfellas, New York, and Casino are all riddled with improvisation. They're also riddled with non-actors, many former mobsters or New Yorkers themselves. So clearly Scorsese uses many neo-realist techniques, which gives scenes like these a powerful sense of authenticity. But like I said before, the key to Scorsese's method is juxtaposition, not the adherence to any one style, which means he needs to contrast neorealism with something totally different, something on the opposite end of the spectrum, something like this. Clearly, if there's one thing Scorsese hates, it's people with epilepsy. And so we come to Exhibit B, postmodernism. This method aims to remind us that we're watching a film. It's not concerned with presenting reality, rather it strives to exaggerate reality through a mixture of unconventional techniques. So instead of shooting a boxing match like you're used to seeing it,
Leary leads off with a good left jab.
Scorsese flips the script. a deviation not just from that norm, but from his earlier neo-realist approach. Angles are suddenly exaggerated. The amount of shots has multiplied too, exponentially. We go from 3 to 5 shots covering a scene to about 16 in 25 seconds. That's counting any time the angle shifts by more than 30 degrees, not individual cuts. Now, continuity in terms of time and space is thrown right out the window. Time slowed, then sped up. Ambient sound is lowered, sound effects are raised, making each impact exaggerated. The cutting rates also increased dramatically. It's just brief flashes of carnage. Here too, in Goodfellas, Scorsese shifts from this type of coverage.
All right, good.
You're getting too big on me
Just
now.
don't go busting my balls, Billy, okay?
Hey, Tommy, if I was gonna break your balls, I'd tell you to go home and get your shine box.
To this.
I mean, hits just became a habit for some of the guys. Guys would get into arguments over nothing, and before you knew it, one of them was dead. I mean, they were shooting each other all the time. Shooting people was a normal thing. It was no big deal.
Again, the second clip is totally postmodernist. Scorsese manipulates time. Just look at that speed ramp while Pesci stabs Frank Vincent. The cutting doesn't follow a sense of continuity either. We cut straight from the gang killing Vincent to Liotta digging his grave. Plus, look at the freeze frame on De Niro's muzzle flash. That's not meant to play for reality, no way. It's Scorsese drawing attention to his craft. Exactly what he wasn't doing with his earlier neo-realist direction. So what do we have? Two totally different styles, each contrasting the other, but they work in tandem, never allowing the direction to become monotonous. Just watch how they work together here in Casino.
This guy is gonna run to the FBI.
Head is getting bigger than your casino. That's your problem, pal.
I knew what he wanted, and I didn't want any part of it. Nicky wanted to take over. He wanted to go after Gadji, go after the skim, go after everything and everybody. Plus, he had stopped asking permission from back home for every little thing. The casino boss and his wife were killed. The Bulls questioned Nicky.
We've got De Niro and Pesci arguing here. Super minimal coverage. Overlapping dialogue, repeated lines, zero time manipulation. Realism at its finest. But right after that, we're hit with this. Complicated coverage, quick cuts, freeze frames, the collapse of time. Why? To contrast the sequence before it. We go from slow to fast, minimal coverage to complicated, which creates a beautiful sense of balance. Or, as Joe Pesci describes it,
I like this one. One dog goes one way and the other dog goes the other way.
One is going east and the other one is going west, so what?
And this guy's saying, what do you want from me?
so there you have it, juxtaposition, one of the fundamental keys to Scorsese's work. And it's this clash of neorealism and postmodernism that makes his films so popular. Why? Because the mix is fascinating for film buffs to pick apart, and refreshingly original for your average moviegoer to watch. They're inspiring, and as the years roll past, I still feel the same admiration, the same esteem for the works of Martin Scorsese. So do yourself a favor, for God's sake, go watch his films. If you love movies, Marty's got a lot to teach you. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, Film Theory, for more fantastic film-related content. And if you'd like to check out more Frame by Frame, click the frame to the left to watch an episode on the Italian horror influences behind Crimson Peak. Or click the frame to the right to watch a Film Theory episode on the science behind Seinfeld's most infamous storyline. And until next time, my name is Kyle, and this has been Frame by Frame.